Hey, this is the post-show wrap-up part.
Cheers.
Bruce Springsteen makes you cry?
The river.
I don't know it.
So
See, you're 10 years older than me. All right?
Yeah.
I was into Bruce Springsteen. I wasn't into Led Zeppelin. I wasn't into any of that.
Yeah.
I was into Metallica, Machine Head.
So I never liked Bruce Springsteen until my brother-in-law told me the story about the song The River. And he said, I don't know if he went to see him live or he saw a video of it him live, but he wrote this song apparently about his sister, and his sister's out of wedlock pregnancy and this whole kind of thing. And as he's playing and singing the song on stage, his tears are coming down his face as he's singing about, but it's in the first person of like, I got Mary pregnant and that was all she wrote. And we went down to the river, etc. And, but this really emotional performance of the song is just, again, tears. So I found it. And he does it a lot. I don't know if he cries every time he sings it. But I'm like, wow, this is really deep. And then listening to this box set my brother-in-law got, and then burned me a couple songs off of it.
Nice.
And when people used to make CDs for each other.
It was so nice.
I was like, wow, this is awesome, because they were really raw songs that weren't overly produced. I think it was called like Lost Tracks or something like that. And anyways.
Why did we talk about that?
The River by Flannery O'Connor.
So The River by Flannery O'Connor is a bloody good book. It's it's a bloody good story. It's about, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because I want you to read it. It's about a boy who is taken by a babysitter, and she takes him to see a preacher at the river. And this boy, Harry Ashfield, his name is, comes from a despicable, gross, bland, ugly, sinful home where everything's a joke. His parents are always partying. He's completely neglected. There's always ashtrays on the carpet and bottles left over, So he's taken down to the river. Can I spoil it for you? Or?
I think I might have read it.
Okay. So then when he's taken down to the river, this preacher talks about being baptized, and is given to him. And he makes a joke while he's about to be baptized. And the preacher looked down at him and he realized, oh, this isn't a joke. Like where I come from, everything's a joke. Anyway, he goes back to the house and he has this little Bible that he stole from the old lady. And the parents who just they take it from him because it's a collector's item, they want to sell it, and they're just all concerned about themselves. But his life's changed, and he gets up in the morning. His parents are all hungover. His their friends are gone, and he makes himself a sandwich. He can't find the Bible, and he's like, I want to go to the kingdom of God. And the preacher told me, and so he catches a ride down, and anyway, he ends up drowning, looking for the kingdom of God.
Really.
And he finds it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
It is so beautiful.
See, I need to read these things again.
And you could read it in a sitting, eh?
Yeah.
I read it to my kids the other day, and I couldn't stop crying. It's so moved. Something about the innocence of children.
Yeah.
Like that just crushes me. Anyway, so Flannery's great. All right, I got a question for you, and if this is inappropriate, you'll tell me. A lot of people talk about you being attractive. Now, you're no Matt Fradd, right?
I'm no Matt Fradd.
But you're okay.
That's what I always tell them.
But what is that like? Because my wife gets really pissed off when she hears people say of priests, not you necessarily, but others like Father Waterwaste or something like that. What's that like?
One of the things that how do I say this? So at conferences these days, last couple of years maybe, where there's not just the homily podcast, but there's also like the video YouTube things. More, and you know this too, like at teen conferences or college conferences, they want a picture and this kind of thing. What I've noticed is there are two kinds of people. One are the kinds of people who want to thank me for something, like thank you for saying what you said. Or thank you for providing this kind of thing because it really helped me. And that sinks a little bit deeper because it's like, wow, no, this person doesn't want to meet a celebrity. They want to thank someone who's helped them. So you had Peter Craft on here. I remember meeting him at one of the.
Oh my God!
And it was one of the things like I just want to tell you.
Yes.
In so many ways,
you
helped me more than I can put into words.
Yes.
And so if I want a picture with him, it's not because I want a picture with Peter Craft. It's like I can't ever communicate to you how you've changed my life. And so when people are saying that because they want it, I'm like, this is incredible. I just want to receive it as much as I can. When someone's like, oh, I'm a YouTuber or whatever, or something like that, or like I'm just someone that you recognize because, it's like, okay, I mean, I know the weight of that. The weight of that is
nothing.
Yeah, it's
I'm the
ether,
same.
right? So it's ash. It's nothing. And so when someone says something along the lines of like, look, someone's looks, it has the weight of not. I mean, that means nothing.
Yeah.
So. So for me, it all can the thanks or the compliment or whatever the thing is can only sink as deeply as it's actually meaningful.
Yeah.
And how someone looks is not meaningful.
No.
So, at the same time,
did you find that more difficult when you were younger though? Because I imagine as you mature,
I think I've maybe more made peace with it.
Yeah. Because I've been hit on once since I've been married. It doesn't happen often. I remember being very flattered by it. And aware that despite my conviction that I would be resolute and that this wouldn't be a problem, that I had to cut this shit off now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder, what was that like when you were younger? Because you were dealing with younger women, ministering to younger women.
I think pretty safely say that I can't think of any time anyone's hit on me.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because it must be hard. Like you're a priest in a confessional, listening to someone's like deepest heart, giving them counsel. You can see how.
Yeah. No, I can't think of a time where I'd be like, oh, there's Matt. Let me tell you. Oh my gosh, I cannot think of one time.
Yeah.
Which is grateful. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Thank God.
Also, I think I give up a vibe of like, don't hit. I mean, kind of a.
Yeah.
I think I know people. It doesn't matter where they're at in life, but it's just like I think you give up a vibe. Not you, but I think you give up a vibe of like.
You're enjoying
come
this,
and talk
and you
to
want
me,
this
kind
to
of a
keep
thing.
going. I agree, and yeah, to that point, when people come up to me, it's the same thing. They want to thank me. I want to spend all day with them, not just because I want them to tell me how fantastic I am. I like that, but I also like there's something real here, something substantive. But if it's like, hey, can I get a better?
Yeah.
Like sometimes people will walk up to you and not even say hello, and they just kind of saddle up beside you, like, oh, are we getting a photo? Oh, okay, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I know what it's like when you meet someone who has genuinely impacted you, and you might think, well, they don't have much time. Let me just, I'd love a photo with you. But yeah, there's definitely a difference because with the first person who wants to share their heart with me, like even if it's not to thank me.
It can be that. It's just like I just want to let you know what's what I've been through.
I got a great story I got to tell you. It happened at Steubenville recently. I was in the prayer time, and after my talk, I said, "Would you do me a favor?" It's like 2,000 teens. As you see me walking awkwardly around, would you stop me? And it'll be awkward, but let's just be awkward together, And I want to pray with you. I want to get to know you. So it happened the whole time.
Yeah.
And Saturday night, adoration, I was standing, praying by myself, and a young woman came up, and she was distraught. And of course, naturally, I'm like, woman, distraught, it's dark, someone's got to be around, And so at first I didn't know how to take her. I didn't know what was wrong. And she said something really, she could barely speak, something bad, like, okay. And, you're like, did something bad happen to you? Or is this something you've done? Like, we need to be clear before I can tell you how confidential what you're about to say to me will be. She said, something I've done. I said, okay. Well, I'm very stoic. Well, if you would like, you can tell me, but you don't have to. I still have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
She said she's been coming to Steubenville for 4 years, And she said, hearing my talk, she was finally able to say it. And she said, I struggled with porn when I was a girl. And she went, oh! And it was so beautiful.
Yeah. And
I gave her the most affectionate side hug a man can give.
Possibly.
Like, I said, you are so good. Yeah. You're so beautiful. We talked, and I said, go to confession, and then tell me when you've done it. Come to me tomorrow. And she did. She came up, just joy.
Oh, so good.
But to go to Steubenville for 4 years, and not
still
have to
this,
do that. It was like, it's like the enemy rushed out of her.
Well, and that's the thing is like when you have the opportunity to do ministry, like to, it's those times where I get, caught, not caught, because that's the wrong way to say it, but by a student or by some students and their youth minister or whoever, like, we need to talk about this, or can you pray about this? Like, absolutely, because they actually. So when people say, at home, no one cares,
right?
Like it's because your dad or your whatever, our priest, no one cares. Another thing is when it comes to the what away stuff is, I always think, you're saying less about me and more of what you think about me and more about what you think about God is worth. That was just kind of strange. You think, okay, you're wasting what on God? Okay. Yeah. And then B, like you haven't thought this through clearly because you think, so if I were married, like what a waste. only one woman gets this guy. Like, well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
My older brother. Well, I have good-looking people in my family. My older brother was a male model for a little while.
Was he?
So, yeah, and he's just.
I want to see your family.
He's very dashing still.
Okay.
And at one point, his wife was at work and she coaches swimming and whatnot. And Mark came and dropped off something, and he's walking across the pool deck, and all these moms who are there for their kids were like, Jen, that's your husband? And she's like, listen. A, I'm not that bad. B, he's not that great, ladies. Like, this kind of thing. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yes, he's a good-looking guy. But listen, it's not like he invented sliced
live
bread.
with him for 24 hours. That's awesome.
But that's the thing. It's like, that's ridiculous,
Yeah. All right, well, thanks. That's it. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
That was great.